What's up, everyone? Welcome back. I'm Blake McLain and I'm a music producer. So we're doing something really different today. I just had this idea. I was actually going to go and break down Good For You more in depth on the Patreon. And I realized, you know what actually might be kind of fun is to compare this and Paramore's Misery Business. Because honestly, I don't think they're the same. I think it's just the same kind of feel, and everybody is kind of saying they're exactly the same, but I think there's a lot of differences. So what we're gonna do is listen to kind of both pieces of each and compare them and contrast them and talk about them a little bit. So that being said, we're gonna jump in here in a second, but before we get started, as always, please give me a like, give me a subscribe if you enjoy the channel. If you want more content, go check out the Patreon. There's a ton of stuff on there. There's a link down in the description to that, and follow me on social media, all that good stuff. And we're gonna jump in now. So let's go. So this is Good For You, and we're gonna go like section to section. So this is the intro and through the verse.
Good for you, I guess you moved on really easily. You found a new girl and it only took a couple weeks. Remember when you said that you wanted to give me the world? Good for you, I guess that you've been working on yourself. I guess the therapist I found for you, she really helped. Now you can be a better man for your brand new girl.
Okay, so we're gonna stop it right there and we're gonna go to Paramore now. So with Paramore Misery Business, the intro hits way harder in the very beginning. It comes in full force and then it breaks it down to a verse. So already a difference there. So let's jump on that. There is a little acoustic guitar in there, which there is some on Good For You, but completely different feel, even a completely different time. Like the feedback and everything there too, like it's already hitting really hard. You have toms instead, you know, that's kind of driving the verse on the drums, as opposed to Good For You, which is a lot more straightforward and just on, you know, actually I don't even think there was anything until that chorus comes in and you have that snare build.
Ticking like a clock, it's a matter of time before we all run out. When I thought he was mine, she caught him by the mouth. I waited a long month, she finally set him free. I told him I couldn't lie, he was the only one for me. 2 weeks and we caught on fire.
Now this, the little snare build here, that is similar, that is
for me, but I wear the biggest smile. Whoa, I never meant to break, but I got it where I want it now. Whoa, it was never my intention to break, just steal it all away from you now. But God, does it feel so good?
And I can see some similarities there with just a little bit of the way that the vocal is actually performed and the way it's pushed. But you have like a change to halftime here in the chorus as well. And it just, again, it drives harder. There are some tiny similarities, but honestly, it's pretty much the same as like two pop punk songs that are just kind of being compared to each other. They're gonna have the same feel. And the subject matter is kind of the same too. But you get what I'm saying.
'Cause I got it where I want it now. And if you could, then you know you would. It's gonna just feel so, it just feels so good.
Okay, so now let's go to Good For You, that chorus. So. So you did have the pause, you know, to getting that in, well, good for you, you look happy and healthy, not me, that kind of a thing. But honestly, listen to how much lighter this is. This is primarily acoustic driven, and then you have the guitar, the actual like heavy distorted guitar, pushed back behind it, so it almost feels like they're blended together.
Good for you, you're doing great out there without me, baby. Gotta wish that I could do that. I lost my mind, don't spend the night crying on the floor of my bedroom.
And see, that's where Paramore actually goes halftime, and she just kind of lets it ride out.
So unaffected, I really don't get it. I guess good for you.
And then there's no after, like outro from the chorus either. It just has this little tiny bit right here that leads it into the verse.
Good for you, I guess you're getting everything you want. You bought a new car and your career's really taking off.
And so you have this like big kind of dry verse that gives it the contrast between that chorus, because otherwise, really, if you had the same kind of feeling that you have on this chorus on the verse, it just wouldn't, that chorus, there wouldn't be enough contrast for it to hit.
Like we never even happened, baby. Tell me what is up with that. And good for you, it's like you never even met me. Remember when you swore to God I was the only person who ever got you? Well, screw that and screw you. You will never have to hurt the way you know that I do. Well, good for you, you look happy and healthy.
Okay, so now let's go to Paramore on their first verse. Or you know what? Let's listen to the rest of this chorus. Let's go Paramore. I'm all over the place today. So now for the Paramore. The Paramore.
Second chances, they don't ever matter. People never change. Once a whore, you're nothing more. I'm sorry, that'll never change. And about forgiveness, we're both supposed to have exchange. Sorry, honey, but I passed it. I've not looked this way. Well, there's a million other girls that do it just like you. Looking
Now there is a little bit of similarity with the speaking a little bit on the vocal, you know, because she kind of does lead, like come from her actual singing voice into a little bit more of like a yell. So there is a similarity there, but that's also just a super common thing.
it is possible to get to who they want and what they like. It's easy if you do it right. Well, I refuse, I refuse, I refuse.
And there that's a little similar too, because at the very end she did kind of the same thing.
Whoa, whatever meant to break, but I got it where I want it now. Whoa, it was never my intention to break. Just stealing all away from you now. But God, does it feel so good? 'Cause I got it where I want it right now. And if you could, then you know you would. 'Cause God, it just feels so.
And it pulls down to this kind of quiet part, which again, this is something that pretty much every single pop punk song did.
It just feels so good. I watched his wildest dreams come true, and not one of them involving you. Just watch my wildest dreams come true, not one of them involving.
So then you have that actual like guitar solo bit. And so you just kind of end up finishing up that way. So it does open up just a tad, but we're about to go back over to Good For You here in a second. I'm gonna let this one finish out. This one also relies very heavily on a guitar riff that's almost like a hook in and of itself. Also, sorry, there's a puppy out there. Yeah, it relies really heavily on a guitar riff that actually kind of separates out the vocal a little bit, and then you kind of come back into it. So again, it's almost a hook in and of itself. There is acoustic guitar back behind everything on Paramore's, but it's not as prevalent as in Good For You. So let's go back to Good For You, and let's see. So and see, it kind of does let it ride just a little bit more there and just kind of open everything up into the Oz, but that again, just another difference.
Maybe I'm too emotional, but your apathy's like a wounded soul.
And see, instead, this is bass driven on the bridge.
Maybe I'm too emotional. Maybe maybe you never cared at all. Maybe I'm too emotional. Your apathy is like a wounded soul. Maybe I'm too emotional. Or maybe you never cared at all.
And there is one of the other little tiny similarities. So everything does open up, back up with that that main hook before it comes back in.
If you ever cared to ask, good for you, you're doing great out there without me, baby. Like a damn sociopath, I've lost my mind. I've spent the night crying on the floor of my bedroom. But you're so unaffected, I really don't care. But I guess good for you. For you, I guess you moved on really easily.
Also, the way that that kind of ends is a completely different way to end a song. So honestly, guys, the point I was getting to with most of this is while there are small similarities, they're pretty much the same similarities that you would have between any pop rock song of like the early 2000s. It's not like Misery Business and Good For You are so similar that they can or should be compared, if you ask me. But anyways, that's pretty much everything. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, catch y'all later.